everybody. I thought I would do a little video on honing some cutting skills. So a quick and easy way to do that is to draw some lines that you want to challenge yourself to cut on. So for example, a straight line would obviously be the easiest one, but anything after that is going to become more and more challenging. The second easiest would probably be some curved lines. And if you think you would rather have somebody do this for you and help you out with some of the lines, you can, or you can make it like a challenge. Like I bet I can cut on any line that you draw for me, and have somebody draw a line, and then the challenge is that you have to cut it out. So you can be the person who decides how good you are at cutting and turning with your scissors. And this will just help you to become better and better and better at it. So this obviously is a lot of turning and maneuvering your scissors in different directions. On this side of my newspaper, my son gave me this idea to do a spiral line or a swirly line. So I'm gonna draw one a little bit bigger than that. And this will actually give you a cool surprise if you try it out. Another way to practice cutting is just drawing large jumbo shapes, okay?
Mom,
and I know that we've been learning in math about two-dimensional shapes. What, honey?
Just so you know, I did a triangle one.
Yeah, you could do a triangle. Triangle is one too. And this is only optional. This is just if you're looking for something to do. Not something you have to do. It's not a due date. I'm not making it an assignment, just some extra material.
Can I?
Or,
Can I?
yeah, you want to give it a try? Before we begin cutting, if you're watching your child do this, you do want to make sure, and if you're doing this on your own kids, before you cut, you should always make sure that you're holding the scissors properly. To be successful. So you should have all of your fingers in the large hole of your scissor, and your thumb always goes in your smaller hole, and your thumb should always be facing the ceiling. If you even have a tiny sticker like I do here, or if you have a marker, if you want to just draw like a little smiley face on your thumb, something that will remind you to make sure your thumb is always looking up at the ceiling. So that is your little reminder. And when you're cutting, I'm going to start here on my Greek key line that I drew. And then instead of turning my scissor to do this next blue line, the key is to turn your paper. Do you see how my helper hand that holds the paper is turning the paper? And then my hand didn't really move. My hand stays straight. And there's another turn, so I'm going to turn again. And then another turn. And my scissor hand might move a little bit, but for the most part, the helper hand does the turning. Okay, so this is what this looks like when it's finished. Back over to our shapes and swirly line that I drew. Another helpful hint when you're cutting things out is, rather than holding this big floppy paper when you want to cut out just this one thing, another nice trick is to cut around the shape not in just like a quick way. It doesn't have to be fancy cutting. And then this is much easier to hold this small piece of paper. So if you're practicing with your child, you can do that as well. And now again, I'm holding my scissors straight and just my helper hand turns. And we just stay on that line. So any line to challenge your child to cut on. And I know cutting can be painful sometimes for some students. You can always put your hand, it's called hand over hand, when you're helping them cut along, or maybe you're holding the paper for them can be helpful as well. So I'm going to cut around the spiral line. This is the fun one that has a surprise at the end. So there's my trapezoid. This is also, can also reinforce your 2D math shapes that you're learning about in math class. And then to cut the spiral line, I should have made the swirl go in the other direction. You have to constantly use your helper hand here to turn the paper. Can you see it already starting to turn? Okay, this is all done. It can almost look like a tornado or something. And it's bouncy. Kind of fun. So that was our scissor practice today. Sharpening, get it? Sharpening our scissor skills. You don't have to do this. It's just something that if you think your child could benefit from it, you can. All right? Have fun.